Basically, Panda was an algorithm that Google released on February 24th, 2011. And what it was really focused on was content quality and trying to measure the pages that had the best quality, both in terms of looking at the content itself and the user engagement that people had with the content. Google wants pages to bring unique value to the web. So if you search, for example, on the search phrase in double quotes, how to make French toast, which requires that exact phrase to appear in that exact form on web pages, you get over 2.5 million results. And I can tell you, it's been over 25 years since I made French toast. I still remember how to do it. We don't need 2.5 million answers for that question, and nor does Google. So they're really looking for some things that bring unique value to the web. And a lot of people fell into the practice of just producing thin, crappy content because they were able to rank for search terms, but they weren't really having anything useful to say. So Google really wants those things to be high quality experiences, and Panda was their first attempt to evaluate that. User engagement is another way of measuring content quality because if the user comes to a web page and they don't interact with it well, that's a sign that it's actually not good stuff. I think one of the big ways that Google measures that is, and Bing as well, I shouldn't leave them out, is that they see someone go to a page, and sometimes those users immediately leave that page, maybe in a second or two, and then they click on another result in the search results. And when that happens, that's like a negative signal that they didn't get what they wanted on the first page they went to. So that's an example of how you could measure user engagement. I'm sure they have other methods, but that's the basic idea. The user didn't find what they want. They showed it through the way they interacted with the page. You have to do some analysis because from our experience, we've seen that the recipe for recovery from Panda varies, but the roots are still in the same basic things. You should, in most cases, be able to look at your site and determine when you have kind of poor quality pages, things that maybe they weren't designed with the user in mind in the first place, or maybe there's nothing different or special about them. And trying to look for those kinds of things is a great place to start. And if you find such pages, there's really three kinds of things you can do. You can improve them, right? You can remove them entirely, or you can no-index them to tell Google to take it out of the index. And those are the kinds of things you can do. On the user engagement side of things, it's a little different. You can use your analytics and go and look and see what pages are having poor user engagement metrics. So maybe there's a set of pages on your site that have an 80% bounce rate and the rest has a 50% bounce rate. It's probably likely that those high bounce rate pages are not helping you. And then the recipe is the same. You either improve them, you no-index them, or you remove them. So Panda was just a start. In fact, the things that they did recently with Search Plus Your World and a more recent announcement about punishing pages that have too many ads above the fold, these are all parts of a process. And they all really get down to the same root thing, which is Google wants to be able to evaluate pages the same way users do. And that may sound like it's a bit trite, but the reality is that when they get the best user interaction with the search results they offer, that ultimately leads to the most money for them, the most market share, and the most interaction with their ads overall. So they have a tremendous amount of incentive to try to evaluate pages the same way users do and come to the same conclusions as to which are the best ones. So the better they can do that, the better off they are. It's tough to do algorithmically, so they're looking at the kinds of signals that are available to them, but they're going to keep looking for more and more signals, and there's a lot more to come over the next few years.